What's up guys, JayFerGaming here and welcome to my review of the 2014 British Grand Prix, which was on yesterday, and it was a pretty good race. So, qualifying on Saturday was incredibly crazy, I've got to say. Q1, both Ferraris were out. I couldn't believe it. I love the sessions when it's changeable conditions, like from rain and it dries up or it gets wetter, but it was really good, even though my team Ferrari 19th and 20th for Alonso and Raikkonen, and the two Williams out as well. But in qualifying, Q3 was pretty much between Rosberg and Hamilton once again, and Hamilton bottled it, making a poor decision because Sector 3, which was really wet on the first runs, on the second lap for each of the drivers, they gained like 4 seconds. And Rosberg got the pole, so Hamilton was down in 6th, and Rosberg really did have the advantage. But realistically, Hamilton was going to be up in 2nd after a couple of laps, because the commentators were making such a big deal about him being down in 6th. He wasn't really going to lose too much time. But the start of the race on Sunday, home Grand Prix for most of you guys watching this video. And from the start, Vettel got a poor start from 2nd down to 4th. Side by side with Hamilton going into turn 3, I think it was. They banged wheels, and lucky it was like the head side of the wheel against side of the wheel, because there was some hard racing there. Further down the field, it got really interesting and very tasty indeed, as Massa pretty much stalled on the grid, was stone dead last, a couple of seconds behind, and he caught up to the pack at turn 3 straight away. And which was probably a bad thing for him, because at the end of Sector 1, Raikkonen went off the track, came back on, flew across a bump, lost control, smashed into one wall across the track, and unluckily for Massa, he went straight. Well, not straight. He kind of spun the car, I think, trying to avoid Raikkonen, and his back wheel hit the Ferrari. And Kobayashi was close to hitting the Ferrari as well. So that resulted in I think it was an hour delay? I can't really remember. Around an hour. It was a really long delay. It seemed to go on forever. But Raikkonen was okay in the end. I think he just had a bruised ankle and a couple of leg injuries. But from the restart, safety car restart, which will be different for 2015, but that's another story. Rosberg was in the lead, and Hamilton pretty easily got past the two McLarens. They made such a Sky Sports team commentary made such a big deal over Hamilton getting past Button. Button pretty much let him past. But yeah, the gap between the top two was about 4 or 5 seconds. And further down the field, Alonso was on fire. Him and Bottas making their way through the field. I think Bottas started about 14th, Alonso 16th, and they were up to like 3rd and 5th, no 3rd and 6th even, after about 10 laps after the safety car, I think. It was such an unbelievable job by them. Gutierrez and Maldonado. Gutierrez wanted payback for Bahrain by at the club chicane, I think it's called. Gutierrez braking far too late, smashing Maldonado, who flew up in the air. You've seen Maldonado fly in the air quite a few times, but sadly for Gutierrez, Maldonado did not flip over, but Gutierrez has got a 3-place grid penalty for the next race in Germany. Hamilton was closing in after his first pit stop on Rosberg. Them two are obviously 1-2 miles ahead of the rest, and he was on the prime tyres compared to Rosberg, who was on the options. And Hamilton was a second a lap quicker. Was it because of the tyres, or was it just Hamilton's pace? We'll never know, because a few laps after the pit stops, Rosberg retired with gearbox problems. Disappointing, because I didn't want Hamilton to win, even though I am British. English even. British. Same difference. Yeah, Rosberg trying his best to restart the car, using loads of reset settings, but just couldn't get the car started. It was game over for him, and 25 points lost, which has left Hamilton 4 points behind him in the championship. So could be a turning point in the season, and it's all hotting up once again. the battle for 5th was amazing between Alonso and Vettel. Wheel to wheel racing, fantastic. Actually, in this video you'll see the section where they kept battling. Both drivers whinging on the radio. It was quite comical because it was great driving, but what they were doing on the radio was so childish. Corner cutting. Corner cutting is such a big thing in F1. Like, making the most of track limits. It'd be so much easier if they put some grass next to behind the curb, or gravel even, like they used to in the old days. I think you'll see right here on this corner so much runoff area. Actually, there's a bit of grass there, but that would have helped. Would have stopped drivers running out so wide and getting an advantage, probably a little bit of an advantage on some corners. But it ended up with Vettel getting the better of Alonso, as Alonso was on older tyres by 9 laps, if I'm not mistaken, and Vettel was up to 5th. And it was an easy victory for Hamilton in the end. Bottas taking a great podium, 2nd. I think was it 14th? I'll have a quick look. It was 14th. Made up 12 positions. Finished 30 seconds behind Hamilton, because the Mercedes are pretty much 1 to 1.5 seconds faster than the other cars, which isn't the most exciting, but what can you do? Bring on 2015. But yeah, Bottas gets his 2nd podium. He got 3rd in the last race in Austria, 2nd here, so I think it's odds on that he's going to win in Germany clearly, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Ricciardo held on at the end from the charging button for 3rd place, another podium for him, a great performance. Ricciardo's outshining his teammate. Button, he had a great weekend. He's not in the greatest car, he's not in the best form, but I think urged on by the spirit of his father, who passed away in January, I think it was. It was good to see a lot of the crowd wearing pink as like a tribute to Button's dad. But it would have been amazing to see him get his first podium at Silverstone. That would have been a great, momentous occasion. Vettel finished in 5th. He's not performing great this season. I think he's struggling with the car, and Ricciardo's just shown him how it's done, which I find very surprising. Well, not anymore, I did it at the start of the season, but his battle with Alonso was amazing. Alonso 6th, great recovery, but it could have been a lot better because he got a 5-second penalty for... He wasn't in his grid slot at the first start, so he lost 5 seconds there. So he could have finished 5th in the end, or he could have battled Button. 7th was Magnussen. He was up in 3rd early on, but I think he lost his head when he saw Hamilton coming up behind him, went a bit wide. And it just showed his inexperience really, but got some solid points. Hulkenberg 8th, only just beat Kvyat, who was in 9th. Force India were really poor this weekend. They had no race pace whatsoever. I'm not sure why. Maybe the long straights. I thought Force India, the car was good at that, but actually it might be the long fast corners. Kvyat 9th, Verne 10th, 2 Toro Rossos getting in the points again, but not getting any major points, which is probably because of the car. Kvyat once again outshining Verne. I think Verne, he might be struggling to keep his seat next season if he keeps on getting beaten by his teammate like this. 13 seconds behind. Kvyat's definitely been rookie of the season so far in my opinion. Obviously Magnussen's got more points, but he's in a better car. Perez 11th, confirming the poor pace of the Force India here. He did make contact on the first corner with Verne. It looked like to me that Perez turned in on Verne, because Verne had, I think it was half the car alongside Perez, and Perez turned in, and that was contact, and then them two were pretty much at the back. It was classed as a racing incident, but I personally think that was Perez's fault, and he's lucky to get away with that. 12th was Grosjean, who was non-existent really. It's a shame really. I wish he was in a better car because he deserves to be. He's a great driver. Sutil 13th in the unspectacular Sauber. Bianchi 14th, who was running in 10th after the red flag. He actually did quite well. After Alonso got past him, he was running in 11th. I was looking at the timings, and he kept a few cars behind him for quite a few laps. It was good to see. And then Kobayashi and Chilton rounding out the finishes. Ono Maldonado finished as well, but obviously he got chucked up in the air by Gutierrez. and the retirements were Rosberg, Ericsson, Gutierrez, and then Massa and Raikkonen on the first lap. That really was spectacular. In a way, you like to see it, but obviously you don't want injuries. But it was really entertaining. It's a pretty good race. This season is definitely hotting up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next race, Rosberg's home race in Germany. And I will of course do another... No, I won't be doing another race review because I'll be on holiday. And I might not watch the race either, which isn't good. The next review should be the Hungarian Grand Prix in 4 weeks' time, so I hope to catch you then. Goodbye.